Hello? Okay. So hello guys. So as she said, I'm a web developer. I'm from the Philippines and I just came here yesterday. So I'm a full stack developer and also I have ADHD, so I might have a bit of concentration issues, but I will push through this talk. So anyways, to start out this talk, who here will admit that they are lazy as this guy? Yeah. Yeah. That includes me. So if I were this guy, I would buy a smart bulb, which I did, to just turn it off with my phone. So, and being lazy is okay because if you are efficient, I mean effective while you're lazy, you're being efficient. So why am I talking about this? Well, this is how my journey with GitHook started. I was working with a team, and sometimes code gets mixed up. Some code won't be consistent, like coding styles. Sometimes there are different variables that gets declared but won't be used. So it kind of adds to technical debt. So I was like, how can I organize my code even better? So I sorry. So I used linters for it, but the issue I had was I had to run it every time just to check on my code. So I was like, can I automate that? So yes, obviously with Git hooks, which is my talk today. So with Git hooks, what it actually is, these are just scripts that gets run. These are custom scripts that gets run in particular time in a particular event inside your Git repository. So there's a few things to know about Git hooks. These are just a couple of hooks that you can use in your own projects. So it's not everything, but these are the most commonly used hooks. So there's the hooks that work locally within your computer, and there are hooks in the service side, which is like the repository that is hosted in Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab, or whichever you use. So the some uses for Git hooks in my experience is running your linter before a commit. So there is the pre-commit hook. So before anything gets committed, this hook will run. So I decided I want to run my linter during this particular event. So it cleans up my code, and for this, the tools I used, the easiest way to implement GitHook I found was Husky. And then I added a few more modules. This is my package.json. I used npm. And then I used lint stage to run my linter, which is ESLint. So this runs the linter on the stage files before committing. So a second scenario could be preparing your commit messages. So during the commit message hook. So why did I want to do this? Sometimes as developers, as we progress through the project, we kind of, sorry, I'm lost. Okay. We kind of try to, sometimes we commit with commit messages that don't have any more sense. So there's been a time that all the commit messages are just fix. So we've come across those, right? I admit before when I started, I did that myself. So, but commit messages are important so that future developers or anyone working on the project in the future could easily navigate through the history of the project and the history of the code. So I wanted to have a formatted commit message. So I used the commit lint package. And what this does, it formats it in a way that it checks if you have to place the message type, and then, for example, feature, performance, chore, and then the actual commit message itself. And the third one is testing your code before you push, because you don't want code that's not working to be out in the actual origin or the main repository, because everything would just break, right? So that's kind of scary. So before it actually goes out of your computer, you have to test your code. And this, I decided to use this during the pre-push hook. So yeah, I use Jasmine to test my code because my code was in JavaScript, but you can use any code tester if you want. So, sorry. Now, I've used packages in my previous examples, so, but you can actually customize with code. So, you can actually find your code, the Git hooks, different types of Git hooks in the .git hooks folder. So if you try to navigate it within your repository, which was initialized with Git, you can find this folder. Sometimes it's hidden, so you have to configure your IDE. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a little demo from the things I mentioned. So I have here a very simple code that just tries to generate. Oh, wait, you can't see it. Yeah, it's just like a typical code generator. But I already implemented all the hooks here, so I want to try to change this code. And I want to add an extra variable. And I want to try to commit that in my terminal. And let's try to run it. So, wait, I didn't add anything. Okay, let's try to commit again. And it ran, if you can see, oh, so you saw it actually ran my linter. So it says like hello is not is a defined variable, but it's never used, so it's found here. So all I have to do, I know that I have to remove this piece of code, and then you can see here before it was actually double quotes. Now it's single quotes because that's what I standardized the code to be. So we already fixed this, and then, yeah. So we're gonna try to add it because it didn't commit because it failed. So again, git add everything that's changed, and then we're gonna try to commit again. So it ran the pre-commit hook. It's running the commit message hook, and it says it failed because the commit message isn't the correct format. So actually, I just need to modify my commit message. This is a feature, and then let's run it again. Wow. So you notice that sound, right? After the commit. So that was actually custom code that I added to inside the hooks folder. So you could assert your dominance and let your whole team know that you successfully made a commit, or just, whatever you want. So there's tons of different ways you can apply Git hooks. So I'm at 0 minutes now. So, so it's just Python code. I forgot to add a little. There's supposed to be like a label at the top that would show Git that you're using Python, but you could use anything Bash or whatever code. So hopefully with this talk, I hope you learned why Git hooks are great, some use cases for Git hooks, and the different tools I mentioned about Git for the Git workflow, and writing your own Git hook. So I hope you get hooked with Git hooks, and we have other cool resources. Thank you.